Wonderful. So tonight I'm going to be sharing my story. We've got about 1,000 new members in this group since the last time I shared my story. And the reason I want to share my story is because I want you to know that I have been where you are. I know exactly how it feels. So I want to tell you how I recovered from breast cancer, how I discovered this whole food, plant-based, no oil lifestyle, how I uncovered the truth about oil, and how I lost more than 40 pounds 8 years ago, and you can too. Okay, that's what we're doing here. So let me know if you can hear me and see me. Let me know if you're new to the group. Natalie, nice to see you. Let me just take a look. Linda, hi. Both Lindas. We got 2 Lindas in the house tonight. Nancy, nice to meet you on the live stream. I don't think I've seen you before. Wonderful. So I'm just going to get right into it. Okay, I'm just going to get right into it. So in 2014, I was in the shower and I felt a lump on my left breast. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Right. So I called the doctor, went to the doctor, showed it to her, and she was like, oh, let's do a mammogram. Right. Because I thought it was just like a fibroid cyst. I was 47 years old. I didn't think anything of anything. I literally, do you guys remember fibroid cysts? You would get like little lumps or whatever, and it would turn out to be nothing. That's what I thought it was. So I went and I did this mammogram, and the doctor calls me up and she says, you have invasive ductal carcinoma stage 2. You need to come into the office. And I was like, what? And I was in the car with my teenagers shopping for the holidays and stuff. And she literally had to scream it at me. And I was like, what are you saying to me? Like, I didn't understand those words, invasive ductal carcinoma stage 2. I didn't know what that meant. That's how dumb I was about breast cancer. Ignorant, had no idea. I was young and I didn't think anything like that could ever happen to me. And so she had to like yell at me, you have breast cancer. You need to come into the office. And I was like, no, that can't be me. And she was like, come into the office. And meanwhile, like the car radio was thumping. I had my teenagers in the car and I had to like pretend like I didn't even hear that. So I went and I did what they said, and I had all of the biopsies, and they said I had stage 2 breast cancer and that I had to do chemotherapy and I had to have a mastectomy, and then I had to have another mastectomy, and then I had to do radiation. I had to do all these things. And I did everything they told me to do for an entire year. Okay? For an entire year, I did all of those things. And I want to share my screen and, show you a few things. So there's that. You guys, let me know when you can see what I look like with no hair. So you wear these hats because your head gets so cold. And I want to tell you that I know how it feels to feel out of control with your health, or to feel despondent about it, or that you have no idea what to do to pull yourself out of it. Like, I know how that feels. So when I finished cancer treatment on December 14th, right before the holidays, 2014, a year after they had told it to me, and I was going for my last meeting with the oncologist, and she was gonna, she said, so it was great. So she went in there. So I went in there and she said, oh, NED, no evidence of disease. They ring the stupid bell, like you're cancer free. And then in the very next sentence, she said, but you need to keep coming back every 3 months so we can test your tumor markers. So, in case the cancer comes back. And I could not believe that. I was like, what are you talking about? The cancer comes back. And I had already been thinking about this because I knew about superfoods. I was a health reporter before I was a health coach. And I knew about superfoods, and I knew about blueberries and kale and acai berries and all that kind of stuff. And so I thought, well, maybe there's something about the food, and I'm going to ask the oncologist when I go back. I'm going to ask my doctor. And so I asked her, and I was like, okay, fine. Tell me what to eat that causes cancer, and I won't eat that. Or tell me what causes cancer, and I won't do that. Or tell me what not to do and what not to eat that causes cancer, and I won't do that, right? That will help the cancer from coming back. And she looked me straight in the eyes, and she shook this bottle of pills at me, and she said, it doesn't matter what you eat. Doesn't matter what you eat. I want you to take these pills. This is how you keep cancer from coming back. And I was like, you can't be serious. I said, I know about superfoods, and I'm asking you what to eat. And she said, again, it doesn't matter what you eat. She was kind of getting mad at me. And I got mad at her right back. And I took the stupid pills, and I left the office, and I tried to take those pills. And let me tell you something. If you know anybody who is a breast cancer survivor, and they have to take those pills, they will tell you that those pills hurt because they are estrogen blockers. And so they cause muscle pain and joint pain. And you feel like a little old dried up lady, like really fast. It's really painful. So I didn't want to take those pills. So I knew it was something about the food, no matter what she said. So I started Googling, right? I was searching, because you know how we do when we don't believe the doctor, or when we're, trying to diagnose ourselves, right? What we do, we start Googling. I was Googling cancer and nutrition and diet and breast cancer. And I came across the documentary, Forks Over Knives. I'm going to share my screen again. So I came across this documentary, Forks Over Knives. Have you guys seen this documentary? Let me know if you have seen this documentary. This documentary changed my whole life. Let me show you. Hold on. I gotta share the screen a different way. Hold on. Okay, now I can show all the things. So when I was watching this documentary, Dr. T. Colin Campbell was talking about his 30-year research on animal proteins, and I'm just watching. I don't know what he's talking about. And all of a sudden he says, we found that not eating animal protein turns cancer cells off, and eating animal protein turns cancer cells on. And we can turn them on and off every 3 weeks by increasing or decreasing the amount of animal protein in the diet. And I was like, holy shit, that is something that I can grab onto, something that I can do for me. I couldn't believe that I heard that. And so like immediately I ran home, I finished the documentary. And by the way, the rest of that documentary goes on to talk about how not only the high amount of animal protein causing cancer, but the high amount of cholesterol and saturated fat, along with the carcinogens, are responsible for the epidemics of obesity, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease we have in this country today. And I was like, oh my God, how does nobody know this? I thought, I have got to tell people this thing. So anyway, I went to my own kitchen. I started Googling some more. I found the Forks Over Knives cookbook. I ordered it on Amazon for the 2 days. And I just searched recipes on their website, and I just started cooking stuff. My husband, he watched the documentary, but he didn't think it applied to him like as directly, even though his mother had had stents and his father died of cancer. For some reason, he didn't think, and there I was with cancer. He didn't think that really applied to him. So he was like, what are you doing? Like he didn't really understand the gravity of the situation and how fast I was going to be jumping into it. All right. So that's the first part of the story. That's how I, found out about the whole food plant-based diet. And that's what caused me to jump feet first into this way of eating. Okay. It was to avoid cancer recurrence because I was so scared that cancer was going to come back. All right. Let's see who's here. Nancy. Nice to meet you, Nancy. Need to lose 50 pounds and bring down your cholesterol. hard to stay vegan, family hates it. Well, what I say is you got to do you. Okay, it doesn't matter what the rest of the family says, because you're the one that's 50 pounds overweight with high cholesterol, which is, all the symptoms and risk factors for heart disease, right? So you got to do you. Okay, let's see who else is here. Beth has seen Forks Over Knives. That's wonderful. Let me know if you're on here and you have seen Forks Over Knives and it also blew your mind. All right, so I started eating a whole food plant-based diet, but I didn't know about the new oil thing. I just thought I was going to start eating vegan. And this is for all of you who are in this group who are thinking, I need to eat lots of healthy fats. And you've never heard this either. So I know how it feels. Okay, so I made this big mistake about the vegan alternative foods and oil. Okay, I thought if it's vegan, it was good. So I began to cook everything and serve everything cooked in oil, drizzled in oil. I added coconut oil to my smoothies, my coffee. I can't believe I did that. I ate processed vegan foods and veggie burgers. I just didn't know any better, right? And I'm not sure that there were Facebook groups like this back then or coaches for this either, but here's what happened. What happened is that when I went to the doctor a year later, just my regular GP for my regular checkup, my cholesterol shot up to over 200 pounds, even though 200 points, my cholesterol shot up to over 200, even though I had just lost 30 pounds. So I was losing weight, but my cardiovascular health was getting worse. How is that possible? So I didn't have any idea what happened. So there I was Googling again, and I came across Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn's video, No Oil. So here's what he wrote in the Forks Over Knives magazine, and I'm going to put it up here on the screen so that you can read it along with me while I read it, okay? So here's what he said. Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn is the world-renowned preventive cardiologist for the Cleveland Clinic, and he is the only one who has done the studies on reversing reversing cardiovascular disease and artery disease and showing how you can actually reverse a blockage. Anyway, he's the author of this book, How to Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease. If you're struggling with heart disease, you've been diagnosed with heart disease, you've had a heart attack, you have high cholesterol, high blood pressure, I highly recommend this book. And here's what he said. He also has this video called the No Oil video where he says it to a group of doctors. What he says is the reality is that oils are extremely low in nutritive value, and actually they have none. They contain no fiber or minerals or vitamins and are 100% fat calories. Why? Parentheses, why? Because all of the fiber and the vitamins and the minerals and the fluids that would be in the actual olive or the avocado or the walnut or whatever kind of oil you're getting it from, it's back there in the fruit or the vegetable. When you press out the oil, all you get is the fat, 100% fat. Both the monounsaturated and the saturated fats and oils are harmful to the endothelium, the innermost lining of your arteries. And that injury is the gateway to vascular disease. It doesn't matter if it's olive oil, corn oil, coconut oil, canola oil, or any kind of oil. So oils and fats, they irritate that endothelium, and it gets a little rough. And then as more fats come in there, they get stuck to it. And they get stuck like this in your artery until it makes a blockage. I've got a great photo of this to show you. And this is also what eating high saturated fat animal foods does to you, because animal foods are the only foods that contain cholesterol and saturated fat together. Two things you don't need. Your body makes its own cholesterol. You don't need to eat it in your diet. So you can see here, vegan arteries are clear compared to vegetarian arteries, compared to omnivore arteries. And here's what's happening down at the bottom to your friends on keto diets and carnivore diets. This is what happens. Even if you lose weight and you don't know this is happening, it's happening inside your arteries. So I learned this the hard way. I wasted like a whole year doing that. So that's why I talk about that in this group constantly, so that you guys don't make that same mistake. It's the oils that make it impossible for you to lose weight, even if you've already given up the animal foods. Okay. Also, at that time that I just learned that, I was still eating Parmesan cheese and coffee creamer. You know, that whole thing you say to yourself, well, I'm 90% eating healthy, right? Oh, I just eat this and that animal thing. It can't be that bad. Well, yes, it is. Yes, it definitely is. So, and my clients know this, because as soon as they go 100%, they have exactly the same results that I did. As soon as I went 100% oil free and 100% animal free, the weight easily fell off. I lost 42 pounds. Everything tasted better. I became a better cook. I mean, my whole life just got so good. Like, my lifelong anxiety about what to eat and being overweight, like forever. You guys know what I mean? Tell me if you know what I mean about that anxiety about being overweight your whole adult life, and you don't know what to do about it. Well, all of a sudden, I could see clearly what to do about it. And so I started developing my own recipes based on what I thought was annoying about the recipes I was doing myself, whether they had too many steps, too many ingredients, they were too complicated for no reason, or they just didn't taste good. And I could just see like how they could be so much better. So that's how my recipes were born. And I couldn't believe how powerful this lifestyle was. All my numbers at the oncologist were normal every single time. I declined that estrogen blocker that she told me to take for the next 10 years. And I never felt more powerful and more peaceful in my recovery after cancer. All right, let's see what people are saying. Hi, Alice. Nice to see you, our newest diet rebel. Wonderful. Okay, tonight is her first meeting. Tonight is the Wednesday night weight loss and health transformation group meeting, and Alice joined last week, and tonight is her first meeting. Nancy says, so you know of a cookbook that incorporates your style of cooking and no oil. My own recipes. If you need my recipes, type into the comments recipes, and one of my green goddesses, Gail or Susan or I, will tomorrow send you the link to my delicious whole food plant-based no oil recipes, so that you can get started with the same recipes that my private clients use. Okay. So I am the original diet rebel, because F dieting, right? You guys, like, I never want to starve myself ever again. And I started dieting when I was about 16 with my mother on the Scarsdale diet. And I dieted my entire life, never could lose a pound until this whole thing happened. So I am the original diet rebel, because I found a way to eat that feels amazing. I finally get to be thin and strong and never worry about being overweight and all the anxiety and self-hatred that comes with that. If you know, you know what I'm talking about. And that this is the most powerful thing that I can do to turn off cancer cells in my body. So I've banished the fears of it recurring as well. Now, that's not saying that this is a 100% cure for cancer, but it is a 100% cure for feeling powerful about being a cancer survivor. So I feel like I've reclaimed my birthright, which is, I talk to you guys about this all the time. It is your birthright to be healthy and happy. That's the way most of us were born. We're not sent here on this earth to be sick and fat and suffer like that. Okay? So being healthy and happy. And I found my passion and my purpose in life by starting this free group for thousands of you. There is more than 10,000 women in this group learning about this lifestyle, and learning about the power of this lifestyle. So, and my Diet Rebel private weight loss and health transformation group program to help anybody that wants my help to get on the fast track to serious weight loss and measurable health results without getting derailed on all the mistakes and all the anxiety that I had to go through. That's the point of getting a coach, is you want the fast track. You can go the slow track. All this information is online. But if you want the fast track and you want a program, that's what each of you does when you come to work with me. You are reclaiming that birthright to be healthy and happy and share that with the people in your life. So if that's you, I would love to help you get to the heart of effortless, sustainable weight loss that you couldn't budge before. Seeing yourself beginning to solve your health problems the same way I did with this whole food, plant-based lifestyle in just 6 weeks in a way that is delicious and doable for you. That's my specialty. I make it delicious. We do not starve. We do not diet. That's what's different. Would you like to join me? Would you like to join us? So if that's you, comment Diet Rebel and we can have a short chat in Facebook Messenger and I can send you all the details there. And for the rest of everybody else in this group, I'm here for you. I put out free resources every single week. My green goddesses send you all these resources. We do these free live streams every single week. And I wanted to tell you my story so that you could know that I understand where you're coming from and I understand how it feels. And I want to help you feel better. So that's what we're doing in this group. Okay.